Hi everyone, nubkeks here, and in today's video I'm going to give you a free-to-play and low-spender plan for the Fusion event for Karato Foxhunter, which is coming up here. I'm going to point out the areas which are going to be tough, things that you want to watch out for, and that you're going to really need to make sure to do. If you want to see this event calendar for yourself, you should find it through the in-game news, or you can go on to the official Raid Shadow Legends Discord as well. I also want to mention, for those of you who are not spenders, are you going to buy this? This Valentines Pack has popped up. There are also a bunch of 10 times events happening each different day for a different couple in Raid over the next few days. Are you going to be summoning? For me, and for low spenders or free to play, what I would recommend strongly is to summon the minimum possible for our Summon Rush event, just so you get this rare champion. We'll talk about this more in a second, but I'd summon just barely enough to get this guy, and then I would save everything else for a 2 times legendary event, which would be running Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from Sacred Charts. I'll be saving your Sacred Charts for that, rather than chasing a 10 times event. I think it's generally a bad idea, but let me know what you think, and what are your plans? Are you going to be tempted in? Right, let's take a look at this. Now, one thing to watch out for immediately, which is very deceptive, and this actually came up the last time they produced this official calendar as well. Look at this, right? So Ice Golem Tournament, it says it's running from Thursday until Sunday. So you look at this thing, and this is why they trick you. You think, I've got 4 days to do this Ice Golem Tournament. No, you don't. You don't. Look at this, right? Today it's 3 p.m. on Thursday right now. If this opens up, see, Ice Golem Tournament, it started 3 hours ago. It's only up for 3 days. It's up for 72 hours. It's not up. It's not up for 96 hours, not up for 4 days. It's up for 3 days only. So very deceptive. What I've done, I've come in here and I've just shrunk beautifully, artistically, one might say. I have shrunk these events to better represent what happens with you. This obviously depends on your time zone. So just, check your timers, make sure you're okay. So for example, for me, I live in Ireland, so in Europe, right? Typically I'm going to have my tournaments will start usually about 9 or 10 in the morning. And then so Spider will probably be starting 9 or 10 a.m. on Monday, and then it will finish at 9 or 10 a.m. on the Thursday. So I'll basically have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to do Spider. I'm not going to be able to do it on the Thursday. This is a trick, right? This is very deceptive. So really watch out for that. Okay, now that we're aware of that, let's take a look at what's going on. And they've actually laid this out, apart from the deceptive length of the events. I think they've laid this out very well. So these are the 4 rares. And as you can see, there are 4 events or tournaments per rare. So if you complete each of, for example, for True Gore here, if I complete Dungeon Divers 1 to the requisite points, Champion Training, Dragon Tournament, Artifact Enhancement, I'll get 4 copies of him. I can then fuse those together into Filja. And I need to do that 4 times, and then I can fuse that into Karato Foxhunter. So we can jump over here and we can see in the Fusion tab, this is exactly what it looks like. I need 4 copies of each of these, fuse them up into 4 copies of her, and then fuse 4 copies of her up into Karato. Don't leave this too late. It is a limited time. If you don't fuse him within this timer, you will miss the opportunity forever, and you'll be sat there with maybe 4 Friljas feeling very silly and being upset with yourself. It also does cost quite a chunk of silver. It's either 1 or 2 million silver to actually fuse him in the end, so don't get caught there either. It's a few hundred to fuse up the epics too. So that's like an extra little tax that you have to pay. Right. Let's dive in. So, going through it chronologically, right? So this weekend, we've got Ice Golem is on right now. And as we can see, Ice Golem is not overlapping too much stuff. We've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, for most of us is when we're going to be able to do it. It might be worthwhile doing most of your Ice Golem, if you have the time for it, on Saturday. So I'd knock out a bit on Thursday, a bit on Friday, but you don't need to be rushing this and spending gems on energy refills or anything like that. You can take this very chill. Super Raids, I believe, will still be on. Let me double check. Are Super Raids still going to be on? Yeah, Super Raids are going to be on for the whole thing, and that should be true. Whoop, wrong one. Of all of these events. So you could try to get a bunch of points into Dungeon Divers with Saturday and Ice Golem. I think that's a viable thing to do. You won't be able to do it on Sunday. Remember, it's going to be ending early on Sunday, so don't get caught out there, right? So Dungeon Divers 1 overlapping on Saturday with Ice Golem is a decent time to pull. We have Summon Rush happening then over the weekend as well. There are different 10 times summons boosted. you can get cage bound probably for about 3 sacred shards worth of summons, roughly. And Filja is probably more like 7 or 8 sacred shards worth. Don't exactly know what these numbers are going to be until it actually happens, till we actually have the info. I'd say generally speaking, those are the rough numbers that you were looking at. You can obviously, the other efficient way to get cage bound, but it's a hassle, is that you could potentially get him by just pulling a whole ton of green shards, like 1,500 green shards or whatever. If you have 2 sacred shards, you could supplement the last few hundred points with a few hundred green shards. Very tedious. It's very tedious, but if that is what you have to do, then that is what you have to do, because if you do not get him from this Summon Rush event, you can only get 3 other copies, unless you get super lucky and you somehow get in a random shard pull another Filja. You're not going to be able to complete this fusion. So you need to prioritize getting this guy. It's just what you have to do. You absolutely have to prioritize it. And we have other options for Champion Chase. We'll talk about that when we get there. So yeah, make sure to get him from Summon Rush is basically what I would say. Pull a ton of greens if you have to. We have Champion Training actually starts on Monday. So you could overlap that a bit on the Monday, right? You could overlap your cage bound, your green shard pulls with that, churning through a bunch of green shards and getting a bunch of 2-star food and 3-star food. It's a lot of work. That's a lot of grinding. I just get ahead of the curve, to be honest. Don't leave it to last minute, but you can potentially do some overlap there if you really need to. Got the Champion Training event. We do have for Champion Training, you can see we're going to get 2 of these guys, Trugor and Cagebound. I'd imagine Trugor is probably going to be fairly easy to get, and Cagebound is probably going to need quite a bit of work to get. And that's okay. You're going to need to do both of them anyway, but yeah, you're going to have to sink in quite a bit of time to this champ training. It does go across multiple days, so you do have time, right? You do have time. Just sort of plan around, budget out your points per day and how much you need to do to keep up with it. At the same time on that Monday, at whatever time in your time zone, right? We're going to have Spider starting up as well. I would probably be prioritizing the Spider first and then switching into Champion Training if you're not doing this green shard thing. The reason being, let's say on Monday, we're going to still be in Dungeon Divers and Spider will have started. So Monday, Tuesday, I'd love to get Spider done Monday, Tuesday to finish off Dungeon Divers 1 if I need to. Just overlapping those 2, getting the max rewards. And then just doing Champion Training when there's nothing much happening on Wednesday. Keep on Champion Training on the Thursday, the Friday. Yeah, you see the sort of gist. Then we have Dragon tournaments starting running from pretty much Friday, Saturday, Sunday for me. So yeah, again, once you're done with Champion Training, switch into Dragon tournament. Dungeon Divers is going to start on Saturday for me, so I'll probably keep Champion Training on Friday personally, and then on Saturday, once Dungeon Diver starts, I'll use Super Raids to blast through the Dragon tournament Saturday, Sunday, and get Dungeon Divers 2 done. Once that is done and Dragon is done, Champion Training. Yeah, and then basically it's Champion Training and Fire Night together at the end. Get them both done before the end, and you're good. Artifact enhancement events obviously sprinkle through, so just only upgrade stuff during your artifact enhancement event. Once you've reached the rare, it's probably best as free-to-play or low spender, get to the break point of getting the rare, and unless you've got a lot of silver saved up, then you probably want to stop and save them for the next event. So you got to get through 3 of these. You'll get quite a lot of silver. You get a lot of silver Champion Training, and you get a lot of silver doing like Spider and stuff like that. So at least you got that to sort of buffer things up a little bit. But yeah, just be a little bit careful of it. And then in terms of arena stuff is happening at the same time, is it? Do we have arena? Yeah, we've got classic arena takedown here and takedown here. These are pretty straightforward. If you are in bronze, these might not be doable. That's just the way of it. If you're in bronze arena, you probably can't do this. If you're in silver, you can do it, but it's going to take a lot of work. You might need to spend gems on arena refills. If you're in gold, you should be fine. Okay, but just stay on top of it. Again, make sure per day. Let's say you've got 3 days to do it or whatever. Make sure that you're getting a third of the points you need per day, and then you can see if you're on track or not. Yeah, I honestly think that, you know, in terms of this stuff, it actually seems pretty reasonable. There's not too much stuff I'm too stressed about here. This is an easier fusion layout than Operdin, in my opinion. It doesn't look that bad. Let me know if there's anything here that you're worried about. We also then, of course, have Champion Chase, which is for Cagebound as well. I'm a little bit worried about this one, that this could be hard to get. We shall see. Now, something you can do, and this is a valuable thing. In Champion Chase, you get points simply for getting champions. And it doesn't matter what source there are. So what you can do, and probably should do, is you can hold on to any fragment summon. So like I've got Scion, best champion. He's terrible, right? But Scion, any Doom Tower fragments, anything like that, any previous fusions, hold on to them and then summon them up during this champion chase event for a few extra free points. Another thing you can do is do your fusion stuff during this event as well, right? So don't fuse your guys early. Wait until champion chase, because every single time you fuse one of her, you're going to get 250 points, which is going to help you out a ton, right? That is going to help you out a ton. For the most part, you know, every one of her that you fuse is practically speaking going to be equal to a sacred shard for most people in this event, right? A sacred shard most of the time is going to pull an epic champion. You can fuse an epic each time. So by the time we get to this champion chase, we can definitely have 2 Trugors. We can definitely have 2 Spy Masters, 2 Medicuses, and 2 Cage Bounds. So we have an easy 500 points right there by fusing 2 Filges. We can fuse 2 Filges during this and easily get it. So that's not too bad. Now, the downside is if fusing a third one, you might fuse the third one to help you get to further on rewards, but to get a third one fused, you need the guy from the Champion Chase tournament, which is the thing you're chasing in the first place. So yeah, you're not going to be able to fuse 2 of them. You're not going to be able to fuse a third one to help you get Cage Bound, because he is part of the third fusion. So yeah, you're not going to be able to do that, but it might help you if you got lots of shards. It might help you to push further up in that champion chase and get like legendary book rewards and things like that, if that's something you want to do. So that's just something to consider. There's a free 500 points there for champion chase if you are smart and you have your silver saved up, your champions leveled up and ready to go. Level them up during this champion training, for example. Have them ready to fuse her up, and bam, 500 free points. Yeah, I think that's all the tips really that we need. I think it looks honestly pretty doable. Yeah, this is a fairly standard fusion looking event. It doesn't look too bad. Obviously, it also comes down to what point thresholds they set for these guys, and it's really hard to tell what they're going to do. We shall see. We shall see. So yeah, that's what I think. Let me know what you think, and I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.